Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another Be Connected session. I am with you as always. I'm your host. I'm Emily. I work at the City of Marion Libraries, and today we are going to learn how to connect with friends through social networks. This is a bit of fun today, definitely, but I'm going to cover some hints and tips to help you stay safe online, as well as find people you want to connect with and stop other people you don't want to connect with. Definitely putting your social life online has its drawbacks, has many more benefits, of course, but of course, we're just going to cover just about everything, making sure that you know the risks and the rewards of jumping online and maybe finding which social network or social media platform you would like to join and what really works for you. Because you don't have to join up to everything. One or two is sufficient, and you can certainly pick your favorites. So we're going to cover quite a few things today, so let's get started. First, we're going to look at what we're going to be checking out. We're going to cover first the Be Connected website, as I do every week. Be Connected is where I get my information from and feed it back to you in an entertaining format, as we're doing today. We're going to ask, what is a social network? What does it mean to have or be a part of a social network? We'll ask, why do we even use them? Why do we need them in some cases? And then we look at choosing the right network. We'll cover a few of the most popular ones out there, especially Facebook, then Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and then instant messaging apps that you can try if you don't want to do all of that social sort of performative side of it. And I'll go into that in a little bit. I'll try not to be too cynical today. Because there can be a dark side to social media, so we'll cover everything and you can take it home with a grain of salt and kind of decide what you'd like to cover or take on and put into the world, sort of thing. So, and at the end we'll have questions if we've got any. Let's get started. So Be Connected. I'm just going to open in the background my Be Connected page so I can share it with you. So what is Be Connected? Be Connected, I always forget to explain what Be Connected is because I do it every week and then I go, oh, I know what Be Connected is. Be Connected is a government initiative to get every Australian online and feeling comfortable in their online skills. Essentially, they set up courses for you to complete. These include lovely short videos or slideshows or little quizzes to go through, totally self-paced, don't have to follow any kind of strict regimen or schedule, and you can keep track of your training by signing up and putting your info in, letting them know that you're enjoying the content they make. Definitely worthwhile to do so. So I'm going to jump into my share screen. Here we go. This is Be Connected. Just typing Be Connected into Google will suffice. So up here, I'm going to click on Topic Library. Today we're looking at social networks and Facebook, which is, I believe it's in a little extra section. So you can start from the absolute basics, learning about what a tablet is, how to use a touchscreen, how to use a keyboard, things like that. Staying safe online, very important. Here we are, more online skills is what we're looking at today, including socializing online and using Facebook. But I'm going to go a bit further and look at things like Twitter and Pinterest as well, and then a few others. So if you were to complete this course, you would jump in and have a listen. If you're especially interested in socializing as we are today, you click on through, they let you know what you're going to learn, and then you essentially follow a step-by-step presentation. So you start activity and you run through each of them and they explain what you're about to learn and they just jump right into it. It's a very cool system. I love recommending it to people, even for people who don't have computer access or have limited skills on the computer. I like to give them the PDF files and that way they can read them in hard copy on paper. That way you're not missing out and you can kind of start from somewhere, even if it's just from reading off a page. It's very helpful. So that's Be Connected, highly recommend. And everything you're going to learn today can be found on Be Connected as well. I'm going to add a few extra things that they miss out on, and I can add my own spin to it. So what are social networks? They're essentially online communities. They're accessed using the internet, so you always have to be connected online to be connected in social. So if you have a mobile that doesn't have a connection to the internet, you won't be able to go very far with your social network websites, but you could definitely still call people, which counts as social networking, of course. Using your computer or smart device, you access the desktop or mobile versions of the website. So something like Facebook has a version that you can get on your phone and a version that you can view on a computer browser. So they're different setups, different ways to view them, but they'll all have the same content on them. So you may become familiar with one version more than the other, which is totally fine. Your community is built up of either friends or followers. The terminology changes depending on what platform you're on. Something like Instagram talks with followers. Facebook uses friends. So Facebook, we'll go into it in a little bit. Facebook has a more of a personalized sort of page for you to put yourself on, whereas something like Instagram, you could really be anybody. You don't have to prove that you're, you know, XYZ. You could just say, I'm an artist, here's my art, tell me if you like it, sort of thing. It can be even more vague, and I'll go into that in right now. Why use social media? Okay, maybe won't mention it right now, but I will talk about safety in a little bit as well. So why use social media? It's generally just the best way to keep in touch with people other than giving them a call or visiting them in person. This is a way to kind of take in information and learn about someone as they're sharing their information, like happily giving it up, sort of going, I went on a holiday, here are my photos that I took. You can kind of experience my holiday with me, or you can kind of see where I've been, or you could celebrate a birthday and put pictures up and people can comment, oh, happy birthday, I didn't know it was your birthday, it's nice to know, things like that. So you can share experience with friends and family. This is generally through photos or videos. You can also do text posts where you write a message or you make a blog post essentially on your page. So this could be, again, Facebook, Instagram, any of these up here really. The only one I'll point out is probably LinkedIn is definitely much more of a professional setup. You'll always be talking about your work and what you're doing in a professional setting, whereas these other Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter can all be very casual and more entertainment based than, you know, work and actual kind of another version of social networking. All of these though are used by companies in order to, you know, connect with their customer base. And I'll talk about that again in a bit. Everything's being delayed today. But yeah, and you can also link websites or articles and put them on your page and say, hey, I saw this really cool article, thought you might want to read it, or hey, there's this great charity that's doing this work, let's share it with everybody so they can hear about it as well. So that's something like sharing other pages, groups, or businesses. Facebook is great for sharing this sort of stuff. Facebook's kind of whole idea is just to connect people and get people chatting, essentially. It's come up in the news as being nefarious, and it kind of is in its own way, especially with information sharing and how much you're willing to give up onto Facebook. Sometimes viewing a website can be tracked by Facebook and they'll go, you like this? And well, these are just called cookies. If you ever see a website say, do you want to allow cookies? Cookies just mean that they've tracked where you have been clicking on the website, so they know kind of what you're looking for and what they're trying to, what they should advertise to you to kind of personalize your experience online. Some people don't like this, and many times if you enter a website, it says you have to accept cookies to use the website. If you say no, it just won't continue through because they use cookies in order to get better advertising. So it's kind of, again, sort of swings and roundabouts in that way, where you can get the benefit of the great website, but you may have to give up, you know, some not personal information, but maybe personal preferences that you're teaching it to know. That's another topic. Let me know. Give me a chat if you'd like to hear more about that. Don't want to instill fear in people, of course, but just be mindful that a lot of what you do online can be not made public, but it'll be tracked in some, generally a passive way. But yeah, I wouldn't put too much up online. That's just kind of my general rule. You can share your hobbies and find like-minded people. Again, these are all the wonderful things, the reasons you'd use social media for. Find events near you, events going on. This is especially true for something like our library page that we've got on Facebook, so City of Marion Libraries. I'll mention that at the end, and I'll show you how to find it. And I'll show you as an example of what Facebook looks like for those who've not used Facebook or are sort of unfamiliar. I'll show you what that looks like as well. You can find, again, events near you, and because it's online, you can check out social media any time of day. It doesn't turn off, for better or for worse. It's always on until you delete your account. Your account will be available for yourself to jump on at any time. So it's good if you're, got different work hours than maybe your friends and you want to keep in touch and see what they're up to. You can look on their on their site or on their, what we call it, a profile page. You can see what they've been up to, pictures, things like that. That way you don't feel like you're missing out. But there's definitely people out there telling you, I've heard definitely and felt it myself, that you feel like you're missing out sometimes if you see a lot of wonderful pictures of people having fun. And it's definitely should be known to everyone that your social media life does not always reflect your personal life, the life you live offline. So we generally put up only the best stuff, so it'll appear as though you're having the best, happiest, fun time all the time. But of course, that's not real life. You're having, you know, a mix of every emotion, ups and downs. But online, you only see the good stuff. So it can be very easy to feel like you're missing out on this brilliant time that you're not having for some reason, but really it's just the perception of what they're presenting online. So please keep that in mind. It's not always as truthful as you think. So choosing the right network. How much do you want to share is the first question I'd ask. Do you want to share life events? Do you want to share hobby ideas, or maybe just stay up to date? Each of these apps will specialize in something different. How public should your account be? Do you want just your friends to know who you are? Do you want people, total strangers, to be able to find your account? Is that okay with you? And what do you want to get out of the platform? So something like, and I'll go into each of these, of course, Twitter, great for news updates. Pinterest, great for inspirational ideas for projects. Facebook, great for keeping in touch with people, especially those you may not speak with day to day. Great for family members. Great for extended family overseas, for example. Or Instagram, if you just want to kind of post cool pictures. Instagram's idea is a little bit more not as straightforward as something like Facebook, where it's definitely about, you know, friends and connections. Instagram can do a lot of different things, and it may be the most nefarious out of all of these. I use all of these, so I can't tell you not to use them because I happily use them most of the time. So Instagram especially, so I know quite a bit and know what to look out for. So hopefully I can pass some of that knowledge on to you. Okay, let's continue through. So Facebook, most popular social network in the world, on the planet, several billion users. I don't know how many billion they've gotten up to. I think they're approaching 4. I think that's a wild number just to come out of my mouth. I'm gonna look that up right now. One moment, please. I'm just gonna pause the video while I search, everyone, for 1 second. Okay, I've just checked my stats and it's 2.7 billion monthly users on Facebook. So that's just this month, for example. So that's very exciting. Overwhelming, maybe. But just know that, yeah, if you know what your friends' names are, you'll be able to find them. And if they let you, you know, connect with you, that'll work just fine. So Facebook lets you connect directly with friends and family. Again, what you'll do is you'll send a friend request, and then they have to accept in order for you to access or view their profile page, view the information they're sharing, essentially. So this is great for finding people you've lost touch with, old schoolmates, people you used to work with, people in different countries. Really good way to keep in touch. Facebook has this very interesting sort of medium of being a fairly serious platform where you're posting sort of truthful stuff, you're posting your own life events, you're being quite sincere. But you can also be quite silly on Facebook. You follow, you know, funny pages and things like that. So there's this weird kind of attitude around Facebook where you're trying to, you know, make it seem be as hard to describe. It's this weird medium that I've not seen on any other sort of internet social media browser platform. And it's huge, it's enormous, it's prevalent, it's everywhere. You've got businesses on there with their own profiles. You've got your nan on there with her own profile. It's got everybody. It's a really cool mix, definitely. It's a great place. You can share your images, videos, blog posts with anyone you are friends with. Follow events and business pages for updated information. Businesses have, almost every business now will have a Facebook page. It's a brilliant way to keep up to date with people. They can see the dates when you've posted something. They know when an update has happened. So say if you update, you're a restaurant and you're updating your menu, you pop your new menu up onto Facebook. It's got a date. You say, welcome to the new menu for the season. Please give it a like or come in and visit us. People can see that and they go, oh, excellent. This place is open. It's active. and it's, you know, keen to get people in and they're already invested, just knowing that you're happy to post and talk with them. You can also directly message a company and they may not always respond, but they've always got someone on the other end that's checking out messages on Facebook, generally a social marketing person, and keeping up to date. Having a strong social presence on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any kind of online presence is highly valued these days in businesses. So whenever I find one that maybe doesn't have an up-to-date page, or the last time they updated was maybe 2 years ago, I go, oh, is this place still in business? And I instantly kind of become a little wary of, oh, is this place, is it open? Can I go visit? I'm not sure. So having an up-to-date page is very important. Not everyone goes by this, of course. People like to go and visit or ring up and make sure it's open, for example, and that's enough for many people. But someone like me, I double check a place before I go, for example, and I'm going to look it up online and go, oh, is this place all it's hyped up to be? And if I don't see anything great on their social media, I might decide not to go. So for people like me who do that, it's very worthwhile to keep up to date with your Facebook profile or your Facebook business. So that's Facebook essentially. I don't know if I have any extra warnings. Keep in mind that, actually, let me double check here. There we go. I knew I had some extra stuff. So safety and privacy is something I want to talk about. So as a social network, anyone can attempt to look up your profile, but you can adjust your privacy settings at any time to prevent this. You can say, Facebook's very good about this because, again, Facebook is so prevalent in many of our lives. We all have a Facebook or use Messenger, which is the instant messaging version of Facebook. Connects with all your friends, because many of us are wary about sharing our information online, but Facebook, you know, gets ad revenue for every user they've got online, you know, scrolling through Facebook. They really want you to trust them. They want you to go on and use it. So they're doing their best, and every few weeks or months they update their privacy settings to give you even more of a tailored experience. They're giving you more settings to say, no, I don't want this, but I want this, and I like to have this person not see anything of this, things like that. So you can adjust your privacy settings at any time. Just press the little profile image and you'll be able to adjust your settings that way. Go down to probably, settings or privacy settings. And that way you can set it up so that limited amounts of people can view your account. Only if you have a friend of a friend can they view your account, things like that. You can view your own profile as a member of the public, so you can see what your profile looks like to another person if they were to Google your name. Also not Google, but search it on Facebook. Again, limit what people can see your account, and you can hide the content on your account to everyone but yourself. This is a term called only me. So when you say to update privacy settings, it's usually if you say have a image posted, you go to the little drop down arrow and you can adjust who's seeing this. And then you can change it to only me, which has a little padlock symbol. And that means that no one else can see this. And instead of deleting the image or the memory or whatever it is, you can have it sort of archived on your account where you can still see it and send it to people if you wanted to, but other people won't be able to see it when they look on your account. So there's a lot you can do to protect yourself. But again, if you're going to all these measures, I'd recommend not putting as much information online to begin with. That's just the handiest thing. If there's less of you online, there's less of you that can get looked up by people you don't want to see it, for example. But of course, that's not always possible, especially if you have a business, for example, and you do really want to keep yourself online. Okie doke. Shall we continue? Actually, I might show you our Facebook. Let's do that. So let's jump onto the City of Marion Library's Facebook. I'm not logged in right now, so this says, please log in to see more of this. However, you can keep scrolling through even if you're not logged in. So please jump on our Facebook, even if you're not a user. You don't have to log in, don't have to like or share or comment. That's totally fine. But it will keep you up to date with our events. So for example, today's event was on Facebook. And we've got Bricks and Bytes as well. Keep you up to date. And then we've got some upcoming events we can talk about. So this is a whole bunch of, this is called Lunchtime Lit. This is a new program Tracy's got going here we go. The Lunchtime Lit is once a month, and then we've got lots of other author talks that are coming up throughout the month of September. So Lunchtime Lit, at least I'll talk about because it's very, very cool. For 1 hour every day, we've got a a specialty, I think, yeah, author and maybe not an author, but they know a lot about the literature they're talking about. So it's essentially like an adult book club. They read an excerpt from a book. So for example, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and they'll talk about, the context, why it's important, why it's interesting, why you should read it. It's a bit of fun for your lunchtime break. So please tune in if you think that's interesting. So for here, I've got a Facebook page. You know it's a page because what we're looking at isn't a profile. It does say it's a business. The way you can find that is generally it's a different layout. So I can already look at this and go, this isn't a person's profile. This is definitely a business. And you can go through the list and have a look at events and things on the side panel. If you hit the About section, you're always going to find out what you're looking at. So it's just loading through. Here we go. Here we go. Talks about the City of Marion. And then our library service, and it comes up as a library. There we go. We've got a story. That's nice. Oh, pardon me. This is because I'm not logged in. That's okay. Very good. Lets you know how to find us, things like that. Message us if you want. Give us a call. There we go. Gives us all our current information. And again, I'm looking for that updated posting schedule sort of thing. So 2 hours ago we posted. Very exciting. That tells me that yes, this community is active. People like this page, lots of stuff going on here. Very, very, very busy, which is good to see. I know the library's open, I know things are happening, and I inherently trust it because that's our world we live in now. If you've got a good social networking page, I can trust you. For better or for worse. Okay, shall we continue? Next social media site, Twitter. Twitter's a little harder to recommend to newcomers to the social media game. It's a forum thread design using hashtags. So you might have seen these around the place. Hashtags are essentially, I was trying to highlight that won't work. Hashtags are essentially just tags you can attach to your tweet. I don't think I tweeted anything here with a tag, in order for your conversation discussion to be found more easily. Say if there was something in the tennis that had happened that was, interesting, you could hashtag tennis or Wimbledon or, tennis stuff. Just reveals my knowledge of tennis is extremely lacking. And that way people be able to find it if they were looking up, Tennis Australia or something like that. Australian Open, that's tennis. And they'd be able to find your tweet or similar tweets and then add to it. So if you had a hot take on not on a competitor, on a player, you could say, this person, did this again, hashtag hashtag something, and you'd be able to find them quite that easily. I didn't explain it very well. I'm so sorry. Essentially, it's a forum thread design where you'll see a post and then underneath it will be comments with the history of who's spoken where and what's been happening and why that's an important tweet for some reason. You can follow personal or business accounts. There are many more business accounts, I'd say, than personal accounts. The idea being generally that unless you've got friends that tweet a lot, you're going to be following businesses, news sites, websites that you like where they're posting kind of interesting stuff. That doesn't mean to say that you can't follow a personal profile. I follow a lot of artists that aren't necessarily, they are their own business, but they're not like a large company necessarily. But I love seeing their art and how they're progressing and things like that. That's just me. So that's kind of fun at least. But yeah, I've not taken to Twitter like I have to many other sites. I still like it. It's very good to keep up to date with things. So if you're someone who likes to follow the news cycle and see what's happening in different countries and things like that, Twitter is the place for you. Just find, businesses, people that you like to listen to. Many people, that you'd see on TV, famous people have their own Twitter. A certain president has his own Twitter, as we all know. And yeah, you can follow them. So for example, I've got on the day that I screenshotted this, which was several months ago now because I've used this image before, Pauline Hanson was trending for some reason in Australia. I wonder what she had done. Who knows? And then you can share a lot or a little. Again, you don't have to give up much information on Twitter. It's more about you're giving a lot of your opinion. So not necessarily your own pictures or your life or your birthday or things like that, but you'll definitely be sharing kind of what you're into, if that makes sense. So that's Twitter, and it has a limited word count, which is kind of nice for someone who likes to scroll or just wants quick updates. You're not going to be bogged down with large articles, for example. Oftentimes they'll just send off links to different places. So you might see for example, if we've got, you're looking at our City of Marion Library's Twitter, you might see, check out this article from the author that's come and had a talk with us, that's come and visited the library before. And then we'll have a link to an article that you can read on a different website. It won't open in Twitter necessarily. It'll have a preview image, but then it'll go off to the website where it originally came from. So that's kind of what Twitter is used for the most part. It's for keeping people up to date and linking them to other places. Okay, let's have a look at Pinterest or Pinterest. I always say Pinterest, even though it's Pinterest. It's essentially a photo and video sharing platform. It's a place to collect your ideas or upload your own work. Great for project inspiration. You build your own pin boards. These are collections of images that you've selected. For example, here, I have collected on my page, I've collected a series of books. Lovely hardbound, cool jackets, things like that. Lovely collection of books. I thought they looked very pretty. Great as a bookshelf inspiration. And I'm thinking about organizing some books into colored order that looks quite nifty. It's a place essentially where it's a kind of a creative outlet. You can share these boards that you create if you've got, for example, a big event coming up, a wedding, Halloween, which is something that my mother and I do. We just like collecting boards of cool, spooky crafts and things like that. And then you can send them to people and be like, hey, do you like these ideas? What do you think for your party, for example? Did you want to do something similar to this? And yeah, it's just this great image and idea sharing platform. You only need to have an email and a password to sign up. No need for even your real name. You don't need to put your birthday in. The only thing that I would like to mention about Pinterest that kind of is a drawback, there are a lot of ads. It's a free website to use and you're scrolling through like hundreds of images at a time because you just get kind of stuck down a rabbit hole when you go exploring. But there are plenty of ads in between and they can be very distracting. So every page you'd scroll through, there'd be about 2 ads, 2 to 3. And there's no way to get rid of those, unfortunately. They pay the bills for Pinterest and that's how it gets made, unfortunately. So that's anything I would point out. I think you can get ad blockers on your computer if you're happy to do that. I use an ad blocker generally. It didn't work when I was on Pinterest last time for some reason. But that essentially just sort of blocks the ads, which doesn't help the website necessarily because that's how they make money. Companies sponsor the website and say, oh, if you put your ad up, then we'll give you an amount of money for having the ad on your website. And that's kind of how they keep the lights on in their place. So it's, kind of, is it up to you if you want to see ads? I don't necessarily, but it does pay the bills to watch them. But I want to get the free option every time, please. Yes. Okay, so that's Pinterest, a great place to collect ideas. And yeah, you can share them with your friends. You can follow other people, as it says here. So I could follow my mum, for example, and see what kind of boards she's making. Again, boards are just collections of images that you found. You don't necessarily claim to not own any of the images. You're just collecting them and sort of hoarding them for yourself. So for example, again, I've made a book collection here, and that's my pin board at the moment. So that's what I like. I like those books. They're very pretty. Pinterest, very nice to get started with, a great place to try out social networks because there are millions of people on it, but you don't actually have to interact with them or see them necessarily. It's kind of interesting. Okay, that's Pinterest. Let's go further and have a look at Instagram. Instagram, the squirreliest one of them all. So it's a video and photo sharing app, has a scrolling home feed set up out of perfectly square images. If you want a larger image, you'd have to shrink it in the square frame. They're always going to be square shaped. It has a very uniform style. You can scroll for as long as you like. But what you're seeing on your front page are posts by the people that you follow. Now, note the wording isn't by your friends, it's by your followers. This is because many famous people, companies will, you can add them as followers and then you'll see what they're making or sending photos out of, scrolling through your feed. Because it's not a necessarily Facebook-like app, It's not trying to say, this is your long lost cousin, you can connect with them now. It's very much, you're following this person, you're keeping up to date with them, kind of keeping up with the Kardashian style, keeping up to date with people, all the Robinsons, I should say, and kind of getting an idea of what they're up to. Followers is a odd term, but it's kind of exactly what you're doing. You don't have to interact with people. You can just kind of view what they're doing. The only way they'd know is when you hit follow, there is a request option that you can have on your site, on your profile page, so that you can filter who's going to be following you once you say yes, follow. You can deny people and say, no, block that person, don't let them follow me, I don't know who that is. Or you can leave your account open to anybody to follow. I personally leave my account open. I don't post anything very personal. I mostly just post cat pictures. So I have no qualms with having strangers follow my account. I don't post anything, personal. You can also direct message people you follow. Many people I know who are, again, artists for the most part, they may have a disclaimer in their profile blurb. So you have your image of yourself set in a little circle. It doesn't have to be yourself. I've got a cat as my face. You'll have your username. You can pop your real name in if you want your friends to find you. Otherwise, username's enough. That can be any kind of gibberish name. It can be a real word. It could be a phrase. It could be numbers. It could be anything. And then underneath that will be a little profile description. So you can say, artist living in Australia, not taking commissions, no DMs. So this means no direct messaging. So you could attempt, once you're following someone, to send a message, but because they've said no DMs, they're letting you know that I'm not going to respond to you, even if you're saying a nice thing, even if it's a lovely comment. I have a policy of no looking at my direct messaging, or I may block my direct messaging, and that way you won't be able to contact me. I'm sorry. So there's always that kind of disclaimer for most people, at least. There are very, very, very famous people on Instagram. People like, who's famous? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He has several million followers. I don't think it's up to 1 billion. It's definitely just 1 million. A couple million, like I'd say 42 million is kind of what I think I saw it last. I don't follow him. My friend loves him. So every now and then I check out what she's been liking so much. But someone like that would have their own marketing team. While it will appear as if they're taking their own pictures and putting their own comments in, it's definitely getting at least screened by a marketing team that's going to go, okay, that's fine to say. There's nothing, outlandish or rude in that phrase. You can post that sort of thing. Again, it's a lot of kind of deception almost going on. You can definitely pretend to be someone you're not, and that's another word for catfishing. If you're attempting to make friends with someone or get something out of someone by pretending you're not that person, pretending you're someone you are not, indeed. So yeah, there's certainly you can be very deceptive online if you choose to be. You can be pretty open about that and say, okay, this is my name, it's not my name. Like, Cat Flower isn't a name necessarily. Might be somewhere. But generally Cat Flower wouldn't be a name. You go, oh, that's a username, and they don't give a real name. So you go, okay, well, they're trying to be somewhat anonymous. They're not going to give us their real information. We might be getting different content than, say, someone that's name is, my name is Emily and I work in a library. And then maybe that's more about your life, for example, everything that follows after that, all those pictures. And at that point, you may assume, okay, they're being somewhat truthful. What they're showing me isn't a bunch of lies. Not that someone who's being more anonymous is necessarily lying. It's just that they're not expected to be presenting their life as it is. They may want to just post cat pictures and flowers because their name is Cat Flower. So that's Instagram. If you don't use it, I wouldn't jump into it right away. You can definitely view it as on the desktop version of the website, you can view it as a person that hasn't logged in, but to view anything on the app version, which is the actual way it's meant to be viewed, intended to be viewed, you'd have to log in for sure. So that's Instagram. I will quickly, maybe I'll show you what our Instagram looks like for City of Marion Libraries, for example, and please follow us if you have Instagram. I will bring you over. Here we go. This is City of Marion Libraries. It lets you know followers. We give you a quick bit of info about us. We've got our own logo, and then you can scroll down. We post things regarding, books we've got released, podcasts, new things happening at the libraries. We do book faces every now and then. That's all Paula. And we let you know what events we've got coming up. So again, that's Lunchtime Lit, as I mentioned before. New trending titles that are in the library. And a few nice little stories, including one that we have from Be Connected. It's very nice. Excellent. So that's our Instagram. Again, very limited use for those who haven't signed in. So if you'd like to make a limited account, meaning that you don't give much information away, you can definitely do that very easily. The only thing you have to pop in is an email address. So if you're happy to give your email address to Instagram, go right ahead. That's totally fine. I have, always be safe with your email, but at the end of the day, your email, you can make a new one. Not that you'd want to. I would hate to make a new email, but I wouldn't lose too much over losing my email, for example. And I can talk about e-safety in our next one if you'd like. Let me know if you'd like to hear more about e-safety. I have gone through it before, so check out our back catalogue of our episodes on YouTube and you can find more of that. Okie doke, and a few other instant messaging apps I kind of wanted to point out. We've got WhatsApp, Reddit, Discord, Snapchat. Each of these has a different kind of function, but all of them are great for sending quick messages to people. So starting off with WhatsApp. WhatsApp is an alternative to it's an Apple product. Apple iMessage, I think that's what it's trying to replicate. Either way, it's another way to get away from Facebook Messenger. So if you don't like using Facebook, don't want Facebook to have your information, your account name, things like that, you can try WhatsApp. WhatsApp is very similar to Facebook Messenger, but there's no news feed like Facebook has. It's just instant messaging with people that you've made friends with or you've connected with their profiles. It's a great way to kind of text for free, because what you're doing is you're running your information over the internet versus using your phone data. Now these days, well, it is using phone data, it's not using your phone credit for your text messages. However, these days you generally buy or you pay for a plan that will pay for data and not phone credit, because you now get, generally, again, this isn't for everyone's account, you'll be getting free texts and calls to anyone in Australia for the most part. So if you like texting a lot and maybe would think that you might do better if you have it over the internet as a way to take away that cost of constantly texting, for example, WhatsApp is great. Very general sort of, type and go system. You just have to have the other person that you're wanting to talk to also have WhatsApp. Can be downloaded on the Google Play Store. I'm not sure if you can actually get it as a Apple device, because I think there is a substitute, and now I've totally blanked on what it was called. iMessage? Is it iMessage? It might just be iMessage. Okay, I might be getting that wrong. But you can definitely give that a go if you'd like to give it a try. Kind of said that in a roundabout way. Reddit, it's a forum style discussion and sharing website. You can share a little or a lot, but there's almost no personal information shared. You'll have a username and you'll jump onto a forum that you like. Generally the forums are discussion forums of a certain type. For example, there's one called Explain to Me Like I'm Four, which is a great place for professionals to go onto and answer people's questions about anything. You could say, explain to me like I'm four, I don't know how cars work, please explain. Or I'd like to know how my plumbing works. And then someone will go in there who works in that industry and will describe it for you. That's just one of the nicer ones that I've seen on there. There are a lot of fan pages. So if you like a TV series, you can go on there and people will discuss the episodes that have occurred that day or previous episodes. Or if you like films, there's a great place for that on there as well. Essentially a place for people to convene and just talk about things they like. Be mindful, because it is very anonymous, anyone can say anything, so be careful of not safe for work content as well. And you may find some internet trolls being just people being mean for the sake of being mean. So take with a grain of salt. Reddit isn't for everyone, but it's a cool place to go for very niche fan bases especially. Discord is a chat designed for gamers to use while playing. A hard one to recommend. However, it is very cool, and if you do get the hang of it, you will reap the benefits, definitely. It's great as a fan page, again, a forum for people that would just need to talk about, you know, one very small niche thing. Might be a game, might be a YouTuber they like talking about. A YouTuber may have their own page. A pro gamer might have their own Discord page that you can chat with them on, things like that. Again, hard to recommend, but it's nice to know it's there. Again, yeah, I don't use Discord very much, so it's kind of hard for me to recommend personally as well, but I think it's quite cool. Snapchat, an impermanent instant messaging and photo sharing platform. It's an app where if you send a picture, it'll be gone in about 10 seconds. I guess about 10 seconds. And once a day, that person you've sent it to can replay that image or video, and then it's gone forever. Great for not wanting to clog up your phone with a bunch of pictures, but wanting to share lots of pictures. You can, you can Snapchat your dinner if you want to. You say, it's arrived, click. I finished it, click. Dessert now, click, and send it to people. It's great for social butterflies, people that like to keep up to date with people and they're kind of the minutiae of day-to-day life. It's a lot of fun. I used to use it a lot more when I was younger. I've kind of moved away from it. However, a few of my friends still use it, so I do go back and check it out every now and then. The coolest thing about Snapchat that used to be only on Snapchat were the filters you could use. You take a picture of your face, pick a different filter by sliding through different options, and you'd have a beautiful background, beautiful little animations on the screen, or it could even shape your face to an alien. It was a lot of very cool stuff. So even if you don't want to connect with lots of people, it is a lot of fun to try all those different filters. So if that's something you want to give a go, jump onto Snapchat. Again, same thing. You only need an email address and a password, and your name can be total gibberish. It doesn't have to be your real name. And you can only message the friends that you've added. It's not like an open social network. It's very much a messaging system where you go, I know you, add as a friend. We can talk now, that sort of thing. So those are my 4 kind of extra credit options that you can try. Yeah, they're a bit of fun, definitely. So we are all done for the day. So I'll pause for questions now. Do you like my little Instagram-like picture? I was so proud of it. Look at that cat. So cute. Okay, doke. I'm going to pause for questions and then I'll finish up for the day. So one moment, everyone. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Thank you for that. Let's finish up for the day. I just can't get over how cute that is. Sorry, the cats. I just love cats. Sorry, I'm a cat person. Okie doke, let's finish up. So, how to stay connected with us. As I've shown you, many of our profiles, including our Facebook page and Instagram, we are at City of Marion Libraries if you'd like to find us. Check out our What's On page on the City of Marion Council website. That is where you can find out more about our Be Connected pages, Be Connected events coming up, including other events we've got going on in the library like Lunchtime Lit, which is new, very cool. And our new podcast episode has dropped. So please check that out if you've been following the podcast. Subscribe to our Library Loop newsletter. We put out one library newsletter email each month just to keep you up to date with current events and things we're excited about to share. And you can visit or call a branch. Call us on 8375-6755 and you can have a chat. You can come ask for me. I'm here most days of the week. Excellent. I think that is all for you today. So thank you everyone for sticking with me for that one. We've done very well today, I think. I'll leave you now to enjoy spring sunshine. We've finally made it to spring. Very exciting. I will head off now and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and happy learning. See you next time.